It is exactly 10 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side. How you feeling? Feels good to welcome you to a political conversation. Yes, it's a political conversation. It means it is a serious conversation. But because it is a serious conversation, it does not mean that it's a graveyard conversation. So it means that everyone, all and sundry, can be a part of this, regardless of your age, cutting through your societal status and all. Because the significance of talking about Nigeria is all encompassing, and it touches on, it bothers on each and every one of us, whether you're a student, a child, a baby. I'm telling you, even the babies, they cry for help. Some of the tears and the cries and the callings that they do is not because you're not being caring. No, it's because of maybe the harsh weather, and they just be like, you know what, things are not just right. Who can fix it? So it behoves on you and I, rest on our shoulders, to engage discourses like this that is politically inclined, so that we can shape the face of the Nigeria that is yet to come. This is not to say that Nigeria is not here, but there is a Nigeria that is still coming, right? And it is the reason we see and hear family members say, we will get it rightly. We know we will get it rightly. So there is a Nigeria coming. But even before that Nigeria comes, we have to all put our hands on deck. I mean, remember the theme for the October 1st, 2025? I mean, the Independence Day, it was all hands must be on deck, you know? So it means that nobody has an excuse. Nobody's supposed to be left out, right? In matters that concern the country and its well-being. Be that as it may, that being said, let me introduce me, as my dear colleague sitting here will also do an introduction of herself. My name is Edward Daniel, and that is it.
All right, I am Omoefe Piso Semere, and just like we rightly mentioned at the 7 o'clock hour, that today we're going to be beaming our searchlight on Kwara State. It is no longer news that there is some sort of onslaught, you know, in Kwara State with regards to insecurity, and it is now a growing concern. For those who always keep tabs on breaking news stories, I'm sure that you saw the headline on the front page of a Daily Trust newspaper yesterday, with insecurity taking the lead, and just after that you see Kwara bleeds. All right, so it's a growing concern, and we thought it wise to come on here to talk about it.
Right.
Now, insecurity in Kwara State is a pressing issue that affects the livelihood of its citizens or residents, and the state has been plagued by various forms of insecurity, including banditry, kidnapping, and communal clashes. I'll have Yudi, share with us the context and analysis of this conversation.
Thank you, Omar. Historically, though, and contextually, Kwara State has experienced various forms of insecurity, including communal clashes, including banditry and all. Recall that in 2018, the state witnessed a surge in banditry attacks, which led to the displacement of many residents. The insecurity in Kwara State specifically can be attributed to various factors. One of such includes poverty, the other would be unemployment and poor governance. But if I also might add, one of the family members, James, had made a point some time ago when we came on to here to discuss insecurity. He says that, look, with the way that we have now engaged with bargaining with insurgents and kidnappers and terrorism, saying, okay, we want to, what is that thing? Negotiation and all that. Have we not noticed that this is beginning to have a makeshift move into states like Kwara, into states like Kogi, into states like Oyo? He mentioned some specific states. And if you look at it, Kogi State, under Yahaya Bello as the governor at the time, that became free. We didn't quite hear anything, that pertained to insecurity or terrorism and all. is in the bite now. Kogi is in the bite now, and Kogi is experiencing insecurity. But this is Kwara State already experiencing the same, right? And it doesn't seem like it's any news because the state is located in the north central region of Nigeria and it has a diverse population. I mean, the state's insecurity issues are further compounded by its proximity to and launched a security also being affected. I mean, we're seeing unknown gunmen more frequently now. Is becoming a household name in the FCT yet. The FCT minister had declared on October 1 that FCT seems to be one of the safest places to live. But we have our guest who is joining us via phone call. His name is Comrade Saliu Mahmood Dantata. Is a security expert. Comrade Saliu, good morning.
Good morning, Uduak, and good morning, If Omorife.
Good morning to you, comrade. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, nice joining you guys this morning on yet another national security issue.
Yes. Right. Well, today we have decided to, beam our searchlight on Kwara State, right? And it is no longer news that a lot is going on in the state at the moment, even though we saw a story that has been dismissed, talking about some armed men cutting away, ammunitions and all of that. Well, that story has been dismissed, but that's not a bone of contention, comrade. Looking at what was published by the Daily Trust newspaper yesterday, that 71 people were killed or have been killed in Kwara State, and the total number of people kidnapped, the number actually has been put at 86. Now, for some people, it is not yet uhuru, but lives have been lost, whether we like it or not. What exactly could be the reason behind this onslaught in Kwara State? And is it safe to say that Kwara State is gradually becoming a hotbed for these, non-state actors?
You see, sometimes when security agencies are negligent of certain privileged information, this is what happens. And today is an opportunity for me to indict the Kwara State Police Command. Because at the onset of the Mahmuda terrorist invasion of Kayama, Barute local government areas of Kwara State, which lies in the Kwara northern part, the state spokesperson of the State Police Command came to say that there was nothing like Mahmuda terrorism in that area until the good people of Kayama and Barute local governments took the ownership involvement role by getting in touch with us here in Abuja before we transmitted this through mediums. Before the GOC second division, the executive governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak paid courtesy call to the palace of the area of Kayama. After, when the chief of army staff went to Sobi Barracks in Ilori, and they deployed army response squad, before the commander agreed that there were Mahmuda terrorists there. And when we're talking about internal security, who has the purview? It is the police. And the spokesperson, an ASC or DSC or so, came to say that at that time. So that is to tell you, their intelligence network is poor. They are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. All they know is when there are wood loggers that are moving, they should collect certain roads. The issues about insecurity in Kwara State, we saw it coming not today. I can vividly recall 4 years ago, in one of the mediums, precisely, I think particularly Human Rights Radio, their politics and governance program, 4 o'clock to 5. I did mention there that if care is not taken, that North Central states are going to be accommodating fleeing insurgents as well as bandits. Today it is happening. These bandits are involved in this kidnap. They initially started from Kayama and Barute local government through Mahmuda terrorists that gave ultimatum to farmers not to go to farm. That to the glory of God, when the information got to the security agencies in Abuja here, the chief of army staff went, they deployed army response team, there were DSS operatives, police later joined, and all supporters. And DSS arrested the Mahmuda terrorist leader, 33-year-old Abba from Kazana State in Wawa, Niger State. Wawa is just 62 kilometers from to Kayama in Kwara State. So the issue here has to do with negligence at the part of the police, who are custodians of internal security. You see all these things that you see Army Air Force doing. They are just complementing the efforts of the police because their primary constitutional responsibility is to defend the territorial integrity of the country. For the army through the land, the Air Force through the air. So the police, all people, the responsibility of protection. Aftermath of the offer robbery, a mobile squadron was set up. There is nothing like offer robbery any longer. Therefore, the Commissioner of Police in Kwara State and his team must live up to expectation. The army that is assisting, because I learned they asked the GOC to relocate to Kwara, particularly Kwara South, this is fellow the local government area, Ukeode, Babala, and what have you. When this Mahmuda terrorist started in Kayama and Baruten local government areas of Kwara State, people thought it was a joke. But today, look at kidnappings going on in Patigi, Latiagi, Okeode, Omara area, including some villages in Gofa area, Ilori villages, and also other ones, which is rather unfortunate. So at this point in time, what needed to be done, just the way good people of Kayama and Baruten local government discharge their ownership information by giving privileged information of the terrain and movement of whatever to security agents that helped, the good people of Kwara South also owe the security agencies that duty. But by and large, what happened to the Mopo squadron in Ofa? What happened to the Mopo standby in Ilori Police Command? The SIDs, the intelligence officers. This is the time the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, who himself was once Kwara State Commissioner of Police, and today destiny beckoned on him is the Inspector General of Police to deploy special forces, counter-terrorism unit, police mobile force, intelligence response team, as well as special tactical squad, inclusive of special forces to Kwara State, to also assist, because Kwara State is not as complicated as Zamfara, even though in areas like Kayama local government and what have you, there are some illegal mine sites in Gandu area where Itato, the Mahmuda terrorists, were involved alongside some other illegal miners in mining activities that he was even having levy on it. But as it extends to Kwara South now, it's inclusive. Don't forget, Lakurawa terrorists have been fleeing Zamfara and some other bandits. That even privileged information was given where they were seen in Beto, Niger State, they were seen in Auna, Niger State, and we alerted local government councils and good people of Baruten, Kayama, and Borgu local government of Niger and Kwara State to please sensitize their people in case if they see people that are alien and what have you. So the issues now are they need to intensify intelligence gathering. Then also, it is time to establish permanent security structures. Most Kwara towns and villages lack present. They are non-governed areas. There are areas you even go, you can't find police outposts, talk more military, what have you. So outside the divisional headquarters in their local government, they have 16 local governments. The divisional headquarters are even nothing to write them about. You cannot find 300 AK-47 there. When you get there, the only thing you see them solving in their divisional headquarters is issue of conflict of Fulani and the farmers or communal related issues, which goes beyond that. We have Sobi barracks there in Ilori. They have been doing their best, but what I'm saying, the police should take charge of their internal security role. They have police mobile force, special forces, IRT, STS, special forces. What are they doing? Is it for them to post them to government house to be following convoy of the governor? Or posting them to ministers, senators, house of rep, or other VIPs? No. Police must take charge of their responsibility and do the needful.
Yeah, Comrade Saliu, you've spoken well, but then again, there is dissenting voices that would not agree with you totally about the idea of putting out police outposts here and there and all of that. I mean, if you recall, just recently we saw where the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, retired now, revealed in a book that he unveiled on Friday, that was last week, that at a stage in the fight against Boko Haram, the military resorted to using abandoned and dilapidated vehicles, including those from the Nigerian Civil War, due to poor equipment conditions. Now, let me trickle it to where to your points and your submission. How do we put out outposts and not have equipment to give the people who are to man the outposts? Because it's one thing to say we are putting out outposts, police and all of that, and if they are not well equipped, you're only sending them to their slaughter. So what then is the rationale behind it? Secondly, when we keep talking about what do we call them? You mentioned special forces and all of that. Are these just not big names in the fight against insecurity? Are we sure? How sure are we that these special forces are indeed specially equipped?
Well, I disagree with the submission of the Chief of Defense Staff, because the problems with them is when they are in office, they will speak different English. When they come out, they will speak another English. We are not kids. We are not infants. The Buhari administration expanded lots of money for the armed forces. We know these were the periods they bought Tucano, drones, and all of others. Even fighter jets were donated and some were procured. Except if corruption followed it. I can vividly recall the submission of late Lieutenant General Atari Ibrahim in the Senate House of Rep public hearing. He said, ask the contractors. This is an issue that they themselves must answer, because the issues are, we cannot see on pages of papers or where they are saying American government will bought this and that, and somebody is now telling me for the armed forces they have all it takes to tackle it because they've gotten their better share. The only area I can say is that the police is underfunded and the police are lacking adequate equipment, and which I mentioned that if you go to certain divisions, you can hardly find enough AK-47 utility vehicles, drones, gadgets, and also other things.
So how serious are we about this fight? I mean, are we not just playing around and about the gallery, talking the same thing over and over again?
Well, I think the political will is at minimal level. Because, like General Sani Abacha of blessed memory used to say, if insecurity exceeds 48 hours, then government involvement is in it. There are conspirators. There are people who don't want it to end. They are feeding fat. And this insurgency and insecurity is divided into different areas.
Right.
Like when some arrests were made in Kayam and Baruchen as regards Mahmouda terrorists, some people were arrested, indigenous were arrested as informants. Are you with me?
Yes.
It has to do with illiteracy and poverty. Are you getting me? For that area. Then when we come to the circles, if the political will is there, let Idris David, that was president of Chad, he led, even though a retired general, he led, it was as a result of injuries he sustained from leading his gendarmes, isn't it? So in Nigeria, outside the ultimatum and the standing order that Tinubu gave to Chief of Defense General C.G. Musa, Minister of State for Defense Mateo to go to Zamfara and Sokoto, how many other GOCs are leading onslaught against Boko Haram, onslaught against bandits and other kidnappers? How many AIGs, how many commissioners of police? The ranks you still see there are brigadier generals, colonels, lieutenant colonels. Then if it is the police, you find assistant commissioner, CSP, SP and others, then they are equivalent also. So it is high time that the well-trained air vice marshals lead air raids. It is high time the well-trained AIGs and CPs lead their police officers to look at crannies of insurgent or bandit riding areas. It is also high time for others, including even immigrations that are manning the borders, for their well-trained controllers and assistant controller generals. These ranks and these trainings they are given are not given to just sit in the office and enjoy AC or fly flat in their official or staff car. The issues now is police is underfunded, ill-equipped, but irony of it is that we have police trust fund. There is private sector contribution, oil company contribution, government contribution, state government contribution, and others. All this money since the setting up of police trust fund, after skeletal provision of maybe some vehicles, renovation of offices, have they been able to procure all their police needs? Even though I know they donated some skeletal armor personnel carriers, there may be majorly in Abuja and some few state capitals. So the issues are, Mr. President must increase the budgeting and funding for police. Then corruption must be tackled, because the little funds that is being given to police, most of their higher echelons are enjoying it. You can even see that the rank and file are not enjoying anything, and they are the ones that take charge of field responsibility. That policeman will retire, his pension to be paid is a problem. For them to take them away from pension administration, they are playing politics. To set a pension commission for them, separate police pension commission like the military pension. Then again, motivation is lacking. You go to a division headquarters or outpost, even if you bring a case, you have to give money for opening a file and bail money and all sorts of other things.
Exactly.
So is that the kind of conventional officer you want to go and confront bandits? How many mopos are posted outskirts? You can only find them following governors, ministers, MDs of oil companies, ambassadors and others. But where you need to see them in this battlefield is scarce.
All right, comrade, thank you so much for that insight. I mean, you've spoken comprehensive, wisdom, and we love the fact that you always leave us with some sort of revelation or expose whenever we, have you analyze the security issues. I recall very clearly that with a special focus on Kwara State, you've actually, engaged me in conversations off the microphone, off air, since, the month of May or even April. All right, if I recall very clearly, with regards to what we are seeing now in Kwara State. Comrade, I'd like to ask you, is it possible for you to identify the root causes of the issue that we are actually seeing, or, that Kwara State is actually faced with at this point in time?
Well, you see, the attacks in Kwara differs. That of Kwara South, purely they targeted on kidnaps. While the time the Mahmuda terrorists were threatening people of Kayama and Barton local government areas, which is Kwara North, they were taxing some of them at the illegal mine sites. Therefore, some that even to access their farms, and others, the kidnap rate was lower than that of the Babala, Okeode, under Ifeno, the local government, and the Patigi, Lapiagi, and other areas. So I think in Patigi and Lapiagi, for instance, even some of the indigenous were caught who supplies foodstuffs to them, who supplies arms, and also others. So you see, sometimes there are unscrupulous elements who are indigenous of these areas that collaborate with these kidnappers. So majorly what is happening in Kwara South now is high rate of kidnap related. So not as if they go and start attacking just the way Mahmuda terrorists wanted to start doing Kayama and Baruken, so it differs. So mostly it's kidnap related, and the cause cannot be ruled out of poverty for some of the collaborators and conspirators who are indigenous, because there were many Nupe indigenous in Patigi, Lafiagi and others that were arrested that gives information. Even there is a controversy in Babala, even though the palace came to say it was not true, but they arrested the wife of the chief, local chief of Babala, which is in Kwara South, that they were aiding and abetting kidnappers, where they found huge amounts. So sometimes these things don't just happen. There are internal collaborators within the communities there, and that of the Kwara South has proven it happened in Lafiagi, Babala, and also others. Even in Kayama, some of the arrests that were made, that were informers arrested, they are giving information to Mahmuda terrorists there. So the issues are, it's a two-way thing. The bandits come externally, but there are internal collaborators within the towns themselves and villages. So, and that makes it difficult. And that is why we say most of the times, let there be spread of agents of the intelligence angles of the police, military as well. Because when they disguise, they can easily know. Because sometimes when you come with combat operation, they know the time you are coming. At the time your convoy is coming, some other people that sees you, we even informed. There was a time when that of Kayama and Barutum were happening, we had to communicate with some of the indigenous to say, come, enlighten your people. When they see movement of convoy of either army, police, air force, civil defense, don't tell anybody, because that can even lead to ambush. Or maybe the bandits changing terrain and area. So a lot of ownership, involvement, enlightenment needed to be done. Kwara State Governor should immediately convey a security summit. There is need for security summit. Traditional rulers should come, youth association, women association, farmers association, who and who. Let there be enlightenment, let there be exchange of papers, delivery of papers, resource persons could be invited. So I think it is needed. Illiteracy, poverty is also affecting people that are conspirators from the locals who give these kidnappers information, because Nobody knows the architecture of your house until it is only somebody that is familiar. So it makes it porous. So I think that aspect needed to be done. The OI, they needed to be enlightened. And I know Kwara State Governor, as the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, will live up to that expectation by also discharging that responsibility.
Right.
All right.
Well, anyways, though, we will just go on a quick breather. We will come back, and when we do come back, we would like to look at how this is affecting the people of Kwara State, as well as entertain some calls as we progress in the discourse, comrade. All right, let's go on a breather. We'll be back in a short bit.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Any motor where you dey drive, you need confirm protection, no. For your engine, no. Make it mobile, no. Make it mobile, yeah. Anywhere you dey, your motor deserve to be number one, yo. Make it mobile, no. Make it mobile, yeah. You carry the go, make everybody join me, say. Make it mobile.
Make you go with the best.
Make it mobile.
The African University of Science and Technology, Abuja, AUST, announces that admissions are now open for application into our remedial and A-level JUPEP programs for 100-level and direct 200-level admission. Professional diplomas in data science, artificial intelligence, Cisco and AWARE certification, project management, construction management, and more. Undergraduate degrees in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, petroleum and energy resources engineering, material and metallurgical engineering, software engineering, computer science, business administration, and accounting. Postgraduate programs, MSc and PhD in cutting-edge fields like aerospace engineering, space physics, systems engineering, geoinformatics and GIS, pure and applied mathematics, computer science, theoretical and applied physics, material science and engineering, petroleum and energy resources engineering, and MSc only in public policy, public administration, management of information technology, applied statistics and mathematical modeling. Call 003-540-3714 or 006-272-9310 or visit www.aust.edu.ng.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, a recent onslaught of insecurity in Kwara becoming a growing concern has made it to the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And yes, our guest, Comrade Salihu Mahmood Dantata, has put it out there even some months ago, April, if not mistaken. Right, Omoife just brought it to the notice now. And he also mentioned it while he was talking that, look, I had envisaged that, oh, this will happen, and look at it happening. I know a family member to a couple of you, maybe two of you, have mentioned the same thing, that this will spiral into other neighboring states. And look at it, FCT is bearing the brunt of it. Kwara State is in the mix now. Osun State is just by the corner. Oyo State is taking its own. Kogi State is receiving it. I mean, are we to talk about Nasarawa and Niger State? Oh, we already know how it goes in these states. But then we want to know your thoughts on this. I mean, where are we going to in this? Are we really going on a wild goose chase? Or are we serious about fighting insecurity Could this be a matter where the government in itself is involved so that we don't get to seem as though we're not making progress or we are stagnated in one way or the other? Let's go hear from you. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Daniel.
Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm speaking with Taking from Nasarawa State.
Taking me. Welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Yes, I want to talk to your guest. However, there is something I want to talk about. One of the issues that affecting the Nigerian police seriously is the issue of effective personnel. The Nigerian police do not have enough personnel.
Okay.
And you can see, and the ones on ground, they are busy guiding their things. One big man alone, you will see, we have a convoy, and you will see policemen like 10 or 15 sometimes. I told you the other day that armed robbers came to our place at New Yanya, National State, the local government. And we called the DPO, and he told us there was only one policeman at the station. They did not have men on ground. So apart from other factors affecting the police officers, they do not have enough, personnel.
To the discourse 0907330044 or 0908768888. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade Salisu. I'm calling for Selection and Respect.
All right, Comrade Salisu, let's have your thoughts.
God bless you. See, the governor are not ready. It's a vote. We are using the executive vote. They have enough support now. It's not there. Now the governor is already, and even the president is not ready. Because now, when you are giving somebody a security vote, and you are not even asking how you do in your state, and you are the one giving the money, that means there is a lot of corruption is going on. Not already.
Okay.
And even the president already.
Okay.
Everything put and shut up. Because we are giving security vote, things are not going on in the country every day. So they know what they. Their salaries are not good. Check Nigerian police and South Africa's police and London police and American police. I'm not paying Nigerian police. I will tell them to go and drive for you. So there is a lot of problem on the ground. They need to solve the problem so that the security can be tackled in the country.
All right, Comrade.
Thank you.
Appreciate that one from you. Right,
Thank you.
that there's so much already on our hands that we need to do to solve the problem so that we can have an effective police system or policing in the country. I mean, this seems to trickle down into what you have, your position, Comrade Saliu. Where you have said that, look, what's the welfareism package like for the Nigerian police officers? I mean, look at one of our family members just called in to report. Somewhere is it around Nunyanya in Nasarawa State, where an armed robbery, was going on, and they called the police station, the DPO picked, and he says only one personnel is available at the time. So he tells us, the deplorative state or the deplorable state of lack of personnel and what it's causing, in terms of handling insecurity within a certain province or community and all. And this is also to add the fact that Mr. President at some time, was it this year, said that, look, made a decree that, look, hey, 10,000 policemen yearly. How far has that gone? In fact, in the recruitment process, we'll have the PSC and and they'll be bickering as to who is supposed to be in charge of. So it's crazy. And he also mentioned the place of course, something you also mentioned. You are the one who is who's been defrauded. You're the one who is the victim here. You go to the police station to lay a complaint, and you're paying heavily again. So. As one of the family members puts it, said, we are not ready. Says the governors are not ready. That Mr. President is not ready. Nobody seems to be ready. Can you tell us, Comrade Saliu, at this point, from your experience as a security expert, has it been smooth, or is it getting smoother, the relationship between the people and trust with the Nigeria police as of today?
Well, I cannot say the president is not ready. I cannot say the governors are not ready because, to the best of my knowledge, they are putting in their best. But some issues also are corruption has eaten deep in the security forces. Because one, even the allowances of some of the boys, where do they go to? The issues are, if you do not do the right thing, you cannot achieve it. For example, there are trained officers in the armed forces, police, paramilitary, and others. Do you expect the president and the governor to go and do their job? No. Sometimes they themselves compromise. For example, as a commissioner of police, the personnel and officers you are supposed to send to battlefield for surveillance, for intelligence gathering, because of the peanuts you get from political office holders, companies, and what have you, you now post them as orderlies to guard, to do escort duty. Those things happen sometimes illegally, even where you see some DPOs, even give their personnel, even amongst the shortage of numbers, they give it to some people to follow them for trips. So I think, like former Inspector General of Police Michael Kiro said once, that half of police officers who are supposed to be carrying out duties are on escort duties, are attached to even people that don't deserve them. Today you find some people having block industry. When they have arrangement with DPO, they give them officers to follow them. Why? So the issues are a total restructuring and overhaul is imminent.
Who is to drive this
Then above
restructuring?
that-
Who is to drive this restructuring then? If you're saying that it's not under the purview of the president, is not under the purview of the governors, who then should drive it? If corruption has
I
eaten
am not
deeply-
talking about purview. Somebody raised issue that they are not ready.
Yes,
and that is why I'm saying we
so are
cannot
they-
say they are not ready.
Are they ready?
They are, because if they are not ready, they will not be complementing the efforts. Because I can tell you, to the best of my knowledge, when that of Mahmouda terrorist, what have you, was at the Kwara State governor, alongside the GOC, went to the Emir Palace, and from there, this part were made. So you see, so we know certain things that go ahead.
Okay.
So the restructuring differs from not being ready. They are two different things. When we talk about restructuring, it's doing the needful by, for example, what is wrong with police mobile force, for instance. This is it, let's do that you have restructured it. What is wrong with the STS? This is it, this is how we've done it, that is restructuring. Do they need certain equipment? Do they need certain things?
So who should drive it? Who should drive it? Who should drive it? That's the point. That's the same question. Who should drive this restructuring? Is it the IGP?
No, the IGP can only do his own internal restructuring, but the general restructuring, the order needed to be given by the commander-in-chief
of the armed forces.
Then the Senate committees and the House committees need to be involved also, where you will enhance supervision, godfatherism will be put aside, then certain things that they needed to be given in terms of welfare and what have you, then building of structures, setting up of new ones. These are all the restructuring we are talking about. Then the proper training too, because proper training is also lacking. For example, some of the specialized squads like Special Forces, the Counter-Terrorism Unit, the IRT, the STS, where do you train them? Ask the question. So these are issues we are talking about. They are restructuring. So, and that is why you see when we are talking about state police, we are saying the governors cannot do it, because even the state fire service, the state VIOs, have they been able to live up to their expectations?
Even when the governors recently are receiving quadruple of allocation? Really?
That is the issue.
That's the thing. But Nasarawa State governor had told his colleagues and counterparts that they don't have any excuse whatsoever anymore, saying that our allocation is 4 times. So you should man it. So what do you say? You just mentioned again
I think for the governors, they are leaving so much for the president, because, you know, even though security is totally what have you of the federal government, but to some extent, there are certain skeletal control by governors on police, which is enshrined in the constitution, even though not being implemented. But be it as it may, if most of them stay in their states, most of them judiciously assist the security agencies with their security votes, they can be able to complement the effort of the president, because the president is president and commander-in-chief. But who are the receiving end? The governors. It is their people, their local government. So the issues are, it should be a collective responsibility. where they will assist each other, not blame them as they do presently.
Okay.
All right.
This message is coming from Lion Boy from Lokogoma. Says, good morning, Udwaka. Good morning to you, NFA. And it says, I am finding it hard, deeply concerned. I'm finding it hard to believe that in this world of modern technology, Nigeria is still battling with insecurity. Can't our police and military start using technology? Why are we backward in this country? I mean, why are our leaders backward? Let them invest in drones and cameras, please. I'm tired. Nigeria is an unserious country, he says. Thank you. That's what he says. I mean, this is coming from a place of deep concern and frustration. How do you respond to this, Comrade Saliu? Are you not tired already with the incessant insecurity in the country?
You see, the federal government, like you emphasize,
yes,
should invest on drones, armor personnel carriers, and others for the police. For the armed forces, particularly Army and Air Force, they've been having it inclusive of Navy that takes charge of maritime waters and what have you. But for the police, they are left out. Do you know the police now, their intelligence coordination center is not working. They use that of the Air Force. We have the Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center close to American Embassy in Area 1, built by Central Bank of Nigeria under Godwin Emefiele as CBN governor. They are not judiciously using that place. Rather, they are using that place for investigation, tracking of WhatsApp line, tracking of fraud and what have you. No. Nigerian Cybercrime Center should extend to detecting where these bandits make their TikTok, other social media posting from. They should be equipped. Properly, they are not. The Nigerian Cybercrime Center, headed by Commissioner of Police, is not properly funded. They can do that. You see, it is a two-way thing. Combat and intelligence gadgets. So when you have the Nigerian Cybercrime Center adequately funded, their officers are well trained. They can go and detect where the likes of Bello Turji and other people are posting their social media, what have you from.
Okay.
Then when the funding is not there, how do you do this?
Right. Comrade, that's a very, very salient question you're leaving us with. All right. You keep talking about funding, funding almost every now and then. But, I'd like you to speak directly to the role of these state governors. We understand that in this year alone, 35 Nigerian states, voted for 214 billion naira for security, including arms and equipment. All right. And a caller actually made reference to, the idea of security votes for these state governments or governors, as it were. Why is this issue lingering? And do you really see any end in sight to what is going on in Kwara State? Even though we understand that it's more of, kidnappings, and killings, and not necessarily, a case of, or it's not necessarily what is happening or obtainable in states like Borno, Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, and the rest.
You see, when you talk about most of these monies, they expand the budgetary allocation, the appropriation, whatever. The corruption is also affecting the security agencies. Rather than harness some of these monies into better what have you, you see them procuring vehicles for their senior officers, foreign trips, and some other things that are nonsensical. All you need to do when these monies are budgeted, appropriated, for the police, for instance, the little money you concentrate in rural areas by building outposts, equipping them, the division headquarters and whatever. Because when these non-state actors are carrying out onslaught, they look at ungoverned areas. Are you with me?
Yes, please.
Then what do you see? They rather use the small resources in awarding contracts for so that are not necessary. So the issues are corruption also must be fought. Then there should be increased funding for the police, like I said, because even the overhead costs, other things takes even part of the money. It's not easy. Do you know if you go to divisional headquarters now, some outposts, when they want to move with their vehicles, sometimes they fund themselves. So how much is given to them? Maybe 3,000 or 5,000. So scrutiny is very, very necessary as well.
All right.
When the Senate appropriates, House of Rep appropriate, they need to also supervise and carry out oversight functions. Most of these monies we appropriate have they been used to beat so, to procure so, and so? That is also needed at this material time. Corruption totally is affecting all the security agencies.
In view,
with no outer of apology.
In view of what you've put out as your submission, Comrade Salihu, do you think that we might see more states getting involved with these pockets types of crimes of kidnapping, especially the likes of Oyo State and neighboring states? Even the FCT, we've been reporting cases more recently now of some of these onslaught, kidnappings and all of that. Yeah, maybe in one sentence.
The funniest thing is that intelligence response team of the police and special tactical squads, they were set up, amongst other things, to tackle kidnap-related cases and armed banditry, right? Today, they are investigating land grabbing related issues. They are investigating issues that first CID is supposed to be investigating, even though they are under them. So the issue is that let there be priority.
Right.
Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes. If you set up squad, you should not pollute the squad with civil-related cases.
Okay.
When Abakari was there, we knew what happened. They were arresting kidnappers. Today, Abakari, even though for another issue, is in the prison, but the issue in a serious country, they will look at the positive side of Abakari DCP and forget the negative side. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Right.
So, by agreeing with NDNA allegations, arresting people like Abakari, putting in prison, that itself you have jeopardized that those non-state actors have succeeded in having field day because they know the fear of Abakari is the beginning of wisdom. So I think if we are President Tinubu,
Yes.
I will grant Abakari amnesty and bring him back to the police. Promote him, give him target. Go after the armed bandits, go after the kidnapper, you will see what will happen.
Comrade,
All right,
that
comrade.
is certainly going to be a conversation for another
another
day. I mean,
day.
looking at the case of or the trials of Abakari. All right, but thank you so much for that recommendation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Right, and that's where we call it a close already. But thank you for the voice that you've put out there to have this conversation. We hope and we leave our hearts with those in Kwara who have suffered losses at one point or the other.